Chapter 2. Paper and lace heart bunting for guest book table. Cut out 15 to 20 hearts in varying sizes from papers matching your wedding decor. Glue or Mod Podge lace on every other heart. Hang the hearts from twine, ribbon, or cording, attached to the guest book table. You could easily create the bunting with other shapes to highlight your wedding colors. Courtesy of www.mashedpotatoesandcrafts.com. The veterinary clinic in Haley smelled like dog food and antiseptic spray, but it couldn't overpower the smile that kept coming back whenever I thought of a date with Luke. A rumbling purr and a nudge from Tux brought me back to the present. I was sitting in the vet office, holding my cat and dreaming about Luke instead of working on the new weddings I had booked for the fall. Maybe I shouldn't let myself get too excited. Luke's capacity for a relationship was still questionable. Tux meowed and stretched his little white paws forward, a contrast to the sleek black fur covering his entire body, except for the V-shaped patch of white on his chest that looked like a tuxedo cravat. He pushed his black head against my hand. Cats were simple and so easy to love. Maybe I should get Luke a cat. It'd be a good place to start for someone who made a living helping people tear apart their love stories. The bell above the door jangled, and Tux hissed at the chocolate Labrador that had just entered. The dog's tongue lolled to the side in the summer heat. He looked like he hadn't even noticed my cat. "Hush, Tux, or I'll have to put you back in the carrier." I held firmly to the scruff of Tux's neck until he settled back onto my lap. The dog snuffled at the floor, straining against his leash. The vet assistant swung a door open and checked her clipboard. "Tux?" she asked, looking toward me. "That's us." I stood carefully, cradling Tux and keeping his face away from the dog. "You're late. Follow me," she said in a curt tone. I hurried after the short-haired blonde assistant, her name tag said Vicky, into a small room scrubbed clean with lingering scents of the various animals who filed through every day. "I'd recommend putting your cat in the carrier on your way out," she said. "You were lucky he didn't get mauled by that dog." "I'll do that," I responded. "I'm very sorry about being late." I'd waited for about 10 minutes despite being 20 minutes late, so I wasn't sure why it bothered her. Vicky seemed especially grumpy, so I pasted on a smile to combat her negative wavelengths. She didn't smile as she entered in the information I'd given her on Tux. Looking her over, I noticed that her nails were neatly trimmed and painted bright purple. "I like your nails." Maybe a compliment would soften her. I really did like her nails, because purple was one of my favorite colors. "Thanks." She looked up and glanced at me, and then at my cat. It makes me smile on those days when I don't want to. She finally smiled, but it looked kind of grim. I wondered how many animals she'd worked with today, and what she seemed to have against me or my cat. I held Tux and spoke to him in soft tones while Vicky took his vitals. I think we both took a deep breath when she left the room. "I wonder what was eating her," I whispered to Tux. He didn't have a chance to answer with his usual plaintive meow before the vet, Dr. Tim Esplin, entered the room. He was just barely taller than my own 5 feet 10 inches, and he had a full head of wavy brown hair with neatly trimmed sideburns. Tim didn't wear scrubs. Instead, he wore a classic snap-closure cowboy shirt, Wranglers, and boots. He fit the part of a down-home country vet, and his upper-class fiancée, Lily, didn't want him to change one bit. "Good afternoon, Tux," Tim said as he approached my cat. "Adri, it's nice to see you. I wasn't sure how much you got away from all those gowns and doilies." I laughed. "I managed to sneak away once in a while, just running errands today." I placed Tux on the table. "He sure has grown since I found him last year." Tim nodded. "You've done well with him. Most strays aren't this lucky. I just had to put one down yesterday that someone brought in." I grimaced. "That's true. I'm lucky to have Tux, too," I said. "We watch out for each other." "Pets are the best for that." Tim examined